Halloween is just around the corner and therefore you see in social networks bread in pumpkin shape. Today I show you how to bake such bread. What a lovely day to bake. Moin, my name is Arne, German hobby baker who's living in Luxembourg. For me, pumpkin soup is one of the meals that I can eat almost every day in autumn. And somehow every family has its own recipe too. That's why it never gets boring. Today we bake a pumpkin sourdough bread which is perfect to combine with it. And this one not only tastes like it, but it also looks like it. I've added 10% pumpkin to the dough, which helps the bread to stay fresh longer and adds a subtle pumpkin note to the bread. I also incorporated a few spices to give it a little twist. So let's get started. This is from Luxembourg with loaf. This time I'm preparing my levain in the morning, therefore I need 66 grams of sourdough, 66 grams of flour and 66 grams of water. And I combine everything and give it a good stir with a spoon. I'm taking a rubber band to mark the height of my starter and then it's time to wait a couple of hours. After 3 to 4 hours the size should have been doubled and it's time to prepare our main dough. Therefore we need 150 grams of rye flour, 850 grams of bread flour, we need 700 grams of water as well as 20 grams of salt. And then I'm taking 100 grams of a pumpkin, and this time it's a Hokkaido pumpkin. I'm preparing the pumpkin, so I have cut it in small pieces and cooked it with some cinnamon and some nutmeg. So let's get over to the mixer and add the water, the flour, the rye flour as well, and then we add the starter. And then we add the processed pumpkin and we can start the engine of the mixer. We start at low speed and mix for about 10 minutes. Then we increase the speed, add the salt, and I've added some drops of water. And after another 5 minutes the dough should have this consistency, and then it's time to get it over to our countertop. I'm giving the dough here a round shape with the dough scraper. And then I'm transferring the dough into a slightly oiled plastic container. We cover it and then it rests for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes it's time for the first set of coil folds. I'm wetting my hands and then I pull the dough up, pull it over and rotate the container. Then I'm covering the dough and wait another 30 minutes before I'm doing the second set of coil folds. The goal is here to get as much as gluten development as possible. I'm covering it again and wait for another 30 minutes and then I'm doing a third set. As the dough is already quite smooth, I wait now this time 3 to 4 hours. And then it's time to divide and pre-shape the dough. So I'm dividing this into two because I'm doing 2 loaves of bread. I'm using my hands to form a ball. And then I leave the 2 loaves on my countertop uncovered for about 30 minutes. You can use your dough scraper to form some more tension. And then the dough should relax. After 30 minutes it's time to shape the loaves. And therefore we are covering the top side with some flour. pull it over with the dough scraper, and from the edges to the middle, pull the dough over. This is a very easy shaping technique. And then I'm taking my hands to get some extra tension at the end. Then we add some extra flour, and then we flip the dough and put it in the Benetton upside down. And then we do exactly the same with the second loaf. Also cover it a little bit with flour and then transfer it into the Benetton. If you want to have some extra tension, then you can give the dough some stitches, but you don't have to do that. Then it's time to cover the Benettons, and they go in the fridge overnight. While we wait for the sourdough to do its work, and if you want to support me, then like this video, please subscribe to my channel and activate the notifications so you don't miss the next videos. Thanks! At the next day, it's time to bring our pumpkin loaves into the pumpkin shape, and therefore I've prepared some cotton cords which I place on the sticky sides. So you can really attach it to the dough, and then you do another one in a 90 degrees angle. And then we place another cord in a 45 degrees angle. And then another one 90 degrees to the cord that we just placed. Then we take some parchment paper and place it on the sticky side before we rotate the dough and flip it onto a scoring board. Now we fasten the cords with a knot, and there you already see that the loaves gets pushed into that pumpkin shape. I'm taking a scissor to cut off the ends of the cords. And then I'm adding some flour because I want to score the dough. I'm doing some small cuts into the dough. This is not necessary, but if you like to have some scoring on the dough, then it's a good thing. I'm baking my bread in a cast iron pan for 20 minutes at 250 degrees Celsius, that's 480 degrees Fahrenheit. I add an ice cube and put that in the oven. And then after 20 minutes it's time to uncover it and reduce the temperature to 220 degrees Celsius, that's 428 degrees Fahrenheit, and bake it for another 25 minutes. Wow, that bread looks really good already, but we are not yet finished here. First of all, we cut all the cords. And then we add a cinnamon stick into the top. And now it looks really like a pumpkin. So after letting the loaves cooling for some hours, it's time to give them a cut. Crust already really sounds good. And also the crumb. Super nice. So let's do another cut. really amazing, and the smell is incredible with all that flavors of cinnamon, pumpkin and nutmeg. So here's some impressions. Enjoy and bon appetit.
I hope you liked my recipe. If so, please write me a comment under the video or link me on Instagram if you also bake this bread. Have you ever baked such a bread with pumpkin? If so, please tell me what percentage of pumpkin you used and what spices you used. See you next time, adieu and goodbye.